Hi there everyone. I'm taking a beautiful walk on this beautiful sunny evening here in Tramore County, Waterford. And some people have requested that I take some photos while I'm over here. And so hopefully this will satisfy some of your requests. And I'm on what's called the Cliff Road, and I want to show you what I can see from here. This is a beautiful cliff road in Tramore County, Waterford. Right down there is Tramore Beach. That's what this town means, Tramore, which means big strand or big beach. It's about a mile long. There's the Atlantic, and up here is Metalman. Anyway, tomorrow I will be preaching at the Maranatha Christian Community Church in Waterford. My good friend and his wife, Jerry and Pam Dunphy, pastor that church. Wonderful people. Really multi-ethnic. Ireland has become a very multi-ethnic society, and it's quite interesting. Just beautiful people that are worshiping Jesus, and there's churches, of course, all around Ireland. So I'll take a couple of shots. Hopefully you will enjoy it. Here's a few more views of the coast. Of course, very beautiful. We're way above the ocean up here. And the Atlantic looks very calm today. Here's something for you. This is called Sláinte, or Sláinte, we would say, which means the way of health, or a healthy way. Down this path down here, down towards what's called the Metalman. I'll tell you about that in a bit. Here's another view of the bay, and you can see here that it's called Newtown Cove over there, some of the cliffs, and that is Tramore way up there on the cliff. Tramore, and this is of course the beach. And we have the sand dunes all the way down there. There we go, there's the sand dunes, very famous. And this is of course the other head over there to the bay. Very nice, very picturesque. This is another view of the ocean and some of the cliffs around here. So right here is the Guillamene. This is where a lot of men used to go swimming years ago. Now I wouldn't go swimming in that, a little bit rough for me, but a lot of people did. And up there is the Metalman, right up there. Alright, let me tell you a little bit about this place. We are at the Guillamene. I'll show you something very politically incorrect at the moment. Behind me, of course, is the Atlantic Ocean. So beautiful, very nice. And then here you will see what this means. So the Guillamene, which I showed you early, is a swimming cove for men only. See? And the reason for this, men used to strip down and swim off the coast down here. Now, way off over there was a place called Ladies' Cove. And right about, let me see here, where are we at? Somewhere about there. And that's where the women would swim a long time ago. And then of course again we have the coast. There's the Metalman up there. Let me tell you a little bit about that. So years ago, ships would mistake this bay for the Waterford harbour, and pirates would try and lure the ships in here, and of course they would get stranded on the beach. Well, that was a great way to get the cargo, and so the people of Waterford took advantage of that. Well, they designed this 3 pillars up here on this head, and the metal man was to point outwards. You might see it there, I'm not quite sure. There he is, point outwards. And that was to say to sailors, you're going the wrong way, guys. The port of entry is further down. And that is the port of Waterford. And it reminds me a little bit of preaching. Preaching sometimes is to share what not to do. Not only what to do, what things to avoid in life. Because we tend to strand ourselves, whoops, nearly went for a fall, on the rocks as we traverse our lives. Now let me show you this over here. This down here is called Newtown Cove. Let me see if I can get a better view. I think you might like it. Newtown Cove. And we might have a better view up here. The sun came out today. Everybody's walking their dogs and taking a trip, trying to get the best of the weather while they can. Here we go. Here's Newtown Cove for you. Let me see if I can get a good glimpse of that. Of course, the typical Irish coast. We have some people down there on the stony beach enjoying the day out with their family. I think this is what people think of a typical Irish coastline now. This is the Atlantic, but America is not that way. America is over that way, out towards the west as the sun is setting. Here's another view of the cove. Some brave lads are way down there. Look at that. Now, this is a calm day. This is not a violent storm day for sure. But I thought you might like that. All right, this is a typical coastal road, a little bit wooded, and it's actually pretty nice. There you go. Ireland used to be covered in these woods until Queen Elizabeth decided that she would cut down all the forests. That's a long time ago. So a lot of people don't know this, but the countryside that you see today in Ireland is a product of the English, Normans, and then English, that basically changed the complete landscape of Ireland that was mostly wooded back maybe 600-700 years ago. Of course, the Irish history goes back a long way. So here we are. This is a very typical country road. This would be more of a coastal road, which is quite interesting. And there you have it. I decided to sidestep and go down this little boreen. Mhór, of course, is the Irish for road. It comes from the word for bow, or for cow, bow. It's like a cow path, and that's most of the roads in Ireland were probably once cow paths. And here we go across this little bridge here, and a nice little stream. Kind of nice. Let's have a look. There we have it. Very pretty. Of course, Ireland is full of ferns because it is very wet here most of the time. And hopefully today I don't get caught out in a storm. I have no clue why I'm heading up this path, because if I get caught out in a rain shower, well, I only have the trees to protect me. I decided to not go on this mad adventure up to God only knows where, most likely the cliffs up there by the Metal Man, because I don't have my hiking boots, and it has been raining incessantly for a couple of days and it's rather slippery, so we're going to go back up onto the main road. Anyway, this is the end of my journey. I went up a little Boreen road just to see what was up here. That road leads all behind me, all the way across what's called the Copper Coast. There used to be a lot of copper mines in this area, especially further west, about maybe 10 miles from here. Anyway, hope that satisfies your interest. One more thing though, I was thinking about those who are struggling reading the scriptures. And here's a word of wisdom for you. Don't look at it as an obligation, but just get curious about what the scriptures are saying, and you'll have no bother reading the Bible every day. God bless.